back of the bus doing last minute homework. I was one of those kids. All I've visualised, all I've manifested as a kid is being a footballer. From my school window I could see Wembley. So every day I just looked at Wembley and said, yeah, I'm going to play there one day. Literally 1% of people make it. One of the hardest periods of my life, living off my savings, not sure what to do, if it's going to be a success. But I believed in myself.
Right.
And I cracked on and worked serious hours to get to where I am now. I said to myself, okay, I'm going to be the front cover of Men's Health. Getting dropped by Adidas, for example, was one of my biggest lows. I advise that to every influencer. Don't rely on your money from Instagram and ads, because one day they're going to die. Obviously, I'm working so much at the minute, I do become quite exhausted and quite tired. To try and keep on top of things, it can be a lot. And people who are struggling or holding back, you need to talk, regardless of what situation is. You need to talk. If you're not feeling great, talk to someone about it, because talking is so important. There's a lot of men that can't say no, and that's a big problem.
Bradley Simmonds.
How are we?
Welcome to Millennial Mind.
Thank you very much.
I'm surprised you're here after the amount of times I've messaged you.
You have grafted, to be fair. But Joe, what? It's good that you asked. If you don't ask, you don't get, right?
I think I've messaged you, like, I can't even count how many times. And this week, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it one more time without sounding like a psycho. And then you replied.
Well, I'm working in Shoreditch today, so I thought very convenient.
I'm very, very happy you're
but
here.
I'm glad I'm here.
I'm really happy you're here. You are one of the few people that got me through lockdown. And no matter what, every week, I would always do your 20-minute football workout. Do you know?
The BBC,
it's like a
BBC
really
Sport
old one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I would send that to people, I'd be like, where did you find this?
Yeah.
BBC Sport 20 minutes. And the reason why I love that so much is because I think at the start of a workout, you're always like, I don't want to do it. And that one, the first time, deceived me. Because at the beginning, you're like, it's easy.
It's easy, it's
so
cash.
chill.
And then increase
Last
it.
7 minutes, you want to die. Tough. And then the next day, you can't walk.
Yes.
So it was a weekly workout I did with my cousin over Zoom. And
good.
I'm very grateful for you.
Good. No, it was an absolute pleasure to train everyone, because it got me through it.
Yeah.
Because I was so busy working with clients, I had to adapt. I think that was the key word during lockdown is adaptation. How can I stay busy?
Yeah.
And it's opened up so many new doors for me, that lockdown for me. Like, it was a success. For many people, okay, I understand it was a tough time. And it was a tough time for me, of course. But since that, my business has been booming, which has been good. I made a bad time a good time.
I want to get into that, but before I want to tell everyone about you.
Okay.
Because I think everyone knows you as the most amazing PT, but nobody knows your background. So tell me your story when you left school.
So left school, well, I've been a footballer since I was the age of 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I signed at Chelsea Academy at the age of 7, so young. So I always wanted to be a footballer.
Right.
I drove my mum mad, but I was like, Mum, I don't need to do homework. GCSEs, Mum, chill, I'm going to be a footballer, sweet. Back of the bus doing last minute homework. I was one of those kids. And left school and then signed for Queen's Park Rangers after leaving Chelsea. So it was just football. And then things didn't work out. At the age of 20, went plan B, went into personal training.
Right.
It was an easy transition. I spent a lot of my time being injured, so I learned a lot about the body, nutrition. So it was an easy transition for me. Got myself qualified.
Okay.
And I said to myself, let's go and reach the top as a personal trainer.
So tell me that journey. So you quit the dream of being a footballer.
Yeah.
That must have been really hard for you.
Yeah, that was a really tough challenge, because all I've visualised, all I've manifested as a kid is being a footballer. From my school window, I could see Wembley. So every day I just looked at Wembley and said, yeah, I'm going to play there one day. And I did play there, and I have scored at Wembley. However, not professionally with a YouTube team, F2, but it still was a great experience. So, but yeah, so I always said to myself, I'm going to be a footballer, but things happen, and you can't dwell on it. It was tough. I don't get me wrong. It was one of the hardest periods of my life, living off my savings, not sure what to do, if it's going to be a success. But I believed in myself. Right. And I cracked on and worked serious hours to get to where I am now.
Tell me that process. So you were 18, you were 20.
Yeah.
What money did you have?
Well, so when I left QPR, I went to a team in Iceland called so I lived in Iceland for about 6 months.
Wow.
So I was on a good contract, and living in Iceland, I didn't have to. There was nothing to do really.
Okay.
So I just saved every single penny.
Up. And then you came back and you got injured.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they have a dream, they fixate on that and they think, if I can't do that, then I'm not going to do anything else. And it's hard to switch yourself into a mindset of being like, I wasn't able to do this. I need to find something that I'm good at, and I'm going to do it. Yeah.
And that's a big problem in football today. There's so many lads, literally 1% of people make it. Scholarship, become a pro, and it's tough. And all those young lads, I've got pals who've gone down the drug route, gone down drug dealing route, gone down to not enjoying what they do. Some have committed suicide. It's really tough. It's not spoken about enough. So what I want to do, I'm so busy right now, but eventually I do want to go into clubs, the Chelseas, the Arsenals, the Tottenhams, and speak to those young lads and say, look, things might not work out, but you've got to be positive. Do you know what I mean? You don't dwell in it. There's things you can do with the experience you've had. So that's something I really want to do soon.
And so when you decided you wanted to become a personal trainer, to where you are today is crazy. And I think it's something that a lot of people would only dream of. So did you have that vision for yourself?
Yeah, big time. I actually Googled, because I wasn't sure whether to become a personal trainer or a football coach.
Right.
And I typed in how much can a personal trainer earn in London. And it said anywhere between 30,000 to 100 grand a year. Did exactly the same with a football coach, and it wasn't great money.
Right.
So I said, do you know what? Because I'm quite money driven. I'm happy to say it.
Yeah.
I'm very ambitious. And I went straight down the personal training route, and I loved it straight away.
So what did you do? You got qualified?
Got qualified. Started working at Virgin Active, Chiswick Park.
Okay. Nice.
Realised I can't work for anyone else, so I went freelance after 6 months.
Okay.
Actually got kicked out for getting caught doing backhanders. Left there, got my experience, knew exactly what type of personal trainer I was going to be, went freelance, took the risk, because it is a risk going freelance, of course, but it paid off.
And how did you get your first few clients?
First few clients of Virgin Active was just, of course, it's just being on the gym floor, being a good vibe, being smiley, asking people if they fancy a 20-minute taster session. This is what I can deliver if you want more sessions, etc. And then I went on to Instagram. At the time, I had a girlfriend who was very athletic, did lots of videos. She became my guinea pig. So I trained myself, videos of myself, to obviously encourage the male audience. And then my ex-girlfriend at the time to try and get some female clients as well. And then I messaged every celebrity you could think of, and one got back to me, and that was enough to start this journey.
And when you say message, you mean DM'd?
DM'd, hey, do you fancy doing some training? Do it for free in return of some exposure. Put some videos of myself on your videos, just sort of stories. And they're like, yeah, cool, if it's going to be free, no problem.
And who was that?
Sophie Herman from Made in Chelsea.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, she was a great client. And then next minute I was training all the Made in Chelsea girls.
Wow.
Yes, it was mad. And I got to 50,000 followers quite quick. And then there was a app called Social Rank, which I didn't realise at the time. So I went on Social Rank, someone told me about it, and I realised Louise Redknapp was following me. Like John Terry was following me. I said, wow, all these people are following me. I didn't even realise. Messaged them, hey, do you fancy doing some training? Yes, let's do it.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So
it's amazing. I think people always ask me as well, how do you get your guests? And I'm like, I just DM them.
Of course you should.
I just DM'd you, 17,000
Look, if you don't ask in life, you don't get.
Absolutely. And I think it just takes one person to believe in you and one person to start you on your journey. Like for you, it was Sophie. But I think so many people are scared to make that jump. You know, I've just quit my corporate job. And one part of me is like, this is going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait what to do. And the other part of me, that little voice sometimes is like, fuck, what am I going to do?
For shitting yourself.
And you're almost just like, how are you going to make that first move? But in this moment, I'm very excited. I'm sure I'm going to have days. And as an entrepreneur, you do have highs and lows.
Oh, big time.
What were some of your biggest lows?
Some of my biggest lows, getting dropped by Adidas, for example, was one of my biggest lows.
Wow.
Because
so
I
what
thought,
happened?
well, with Adidas, with these contracts, you can't rely on them. Right? They're great. They're for a year, 2 years. You're buzzing. Then they're, hi, we're going a different way. We've got some new plans. We're going to use other influencers, or we're going to save that budget for something else. For example, I'm like, oh my god, I'm being dropped. 6 months later, you get signed by Under Armour, and the contract's even bigger. So you just relax. I've realised, just relax. And that is why now I'm not focusing on those brand deals or Instagram. I've got my own shit going on. Okay, and these brand deals are now side hustles or a little side thing. And I advise that to every influencer. Don't rely on your money from Instagram and ads, because one day they're going to die. Because Instagram is changing now.
Right.
Everyone's engagement is dropping.
It's crazy.
It's becoming like TikTok, for example. We're not getting engagement that we used to, or the reach. It is the way it is. Even though my content's got better, engagement's changed. For me to start getting really good content, I got to do TikTok style of videos, which isn't my type. Again, I need to adapt. So being dropped by Adidas, I remember thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? And it's lessons, you know, it's tough. But yeah, that's it. That's one of my first lessons, realising, do you know what, calm down, relax. Things happen for a reason. This is the journey.
And what about when your clients? So I'm sure you've had periods in time where you've had loads of clients and when you've had probably just a few. How do you manage during that period? Because I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, there are patches where your income is like massive.
Oh, big time.
And then there's months where it's
Yeah,
not. And
yeah.
one of the things actually that I was told when I'm now doing my own thing, is like, it's just going to be so unstable, Shivani.
Yeah.
Like, how will you
massive.
cope?
Yeah. Well, one, don't get ahead of yourself. So, for example, if you earn really good money in 1 month, don't just end up spending a lot of money. I learned my lesson. I got a phone call from my accountant saying, you do realise you have to pay tax on that money, right?
Yeah, I know.
So as a freelancer, be careful.
You always forget, don't you? You're always
Yeah.
just like, yeah, this is X
Yeah.
amount if I can.
Well, I
You're like,
actually
oh,
got
fuck.
quite a funny story. When I must have been about 21, and I was cash in hand as a PT as a freelance, and I was charging 150 pound an hour in my little smart car, driving around all the expensive areas, the Oxshots, the Cobhams, the Knightsbridge, the Chelsea, High Street Ken, just saving so much money. And I went to the bank with a bag of a lot of cash, right? Because my mum says to me, you need to get a mortgage soon. You're on good money, but you need to declare your money. You can't just have that money in your cupboard.
Yeah.
So right, cool. I need to learn. I need to start becoming a man, a businessman.
Yes.
Anyway, I went to the bank and I had a big bag, and I went to the cashier and I said, "Yes, can I put this money in?" I said, "Oh, sorry, sir, that's a lot of money. Can you wait in that room?" No problem. I'm waiting there for 10 minutes. Like, what's taking so long? Police turned up. Well, they assumed I was a drug dealer.
Right.
Of course they did.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, well, what's going on? And they said, sorry, so where's your money come from? And then I showed them my Instagram. I showed them messages with clients I train in, John Terry and that at the time. So they went, okay, look, you can't do it this way. You can't. So I learned my lesson, and you learn your lesson the hard way. So every personal trainer out there who's young and earning good cash, if you need to get a mortgage, you need to declare, you need to put it in your bank account.
100%. I think as freelancers, people forget that a lot.
Of course.
And when you're starting to get into it as well, especially for you were 21 or 20.
Yeah, I was 20 when I started Virgin Active. Yeah, so it's been 8 years now. Wow.
That's great. I can't believe you're 28. You're younger than me. I'm like so upset. I'm so
Everyone
offended.
thinks I'm like 30, 35. It's funny.
Yeah, well, you look much younger in person, can I just say?
Might look bad in the camera.
I don't know. That's a compliment, by the way. I feel like I'm backhanding you a compliment.
That's good.
Like,
I like it. I like it.
But, I think one of the toughest things is getting started.
It is. You just got to take the leap, though. You've just got to go for it.
But you have a lot of confidence. Just seeing you and being around you, I feel like you're very confident.
Yeah.
You're someone who just gets on with it.
I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, are you?
Probably, very optimistic.
And so when you talk about, I've heard you talk a lot about manifesting and your vision. When you were 20 and you had to leave football behind and you had to start this, did you ever think it was never going to work?
No, I always knew it was going to work. I said to myself, okay, I'm going to be the front cover Men's Health.
You did it.
And I said, that's my goal. And I did it. Again, I think manifest, obviously everyone knows what manifest is. It's a bit of a trend at the minute.
It is.
My friend Roxy, she's brought the book out. It's doing amazing.
Yeah.
But I remember reading that book thinking, I'm not actually, okay, I'm learning a few bits, but not massively because this is what I've been doing. And some people, it's natural to them.
Yeah.
And I thought everyone does this. Surely everyone does this, but people don't. But I'm just very fortunate that I'm a very optimistic person. I believe in myself. And I set myself a goal and I just go for it.
Well, how old were you when lockdown started?
Lockdown, I was just 26.
26, okay.
Maybe 26.
So you were about 26.
26. 25, 26.
So you're about 25, 26 when lockdown hit, and I guess that escalated everything, right? Before that, were you doing live workouts?
No, I wasn't doing any live workouts. It was mad. It was a massive change. I was doing a lot of personal training.
Right.
So I was training a lot of celebrities at the time. So I was known as a celebrity trainer. I must have been training 5 or 6 celebrities.
Wow.
And that was good because I was getting exposure from that way. Training, I was in their stories. I was posting about me. I was doing loads of stuff in magazines, etc. And then obviously during COVID, I couldn't train any celebrities. But then I guess the following I grew from training all those celebrities. Obviously, I had about 3,000 to 7,000 people doing my workouts every single day.
Oh my
Yeah, it was a lot.
gosh.
It was a lot. And that did put a lot of pressure on me because I realised how many people would enjoy it. And it was a buzz. It was almost like a drug because it was like, yes, I'm getting this engagement. My followers. I grew 120,000 followers in that COVID period, which was a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I turned a good percentage into subscribers. So I knew there was a business behind this, which is why I grafted and grafted. And I said, and once we get 7,000 and people like BBC wanted to work with me, I said to my management straight away, we need to get an app out. We need to get an app out ASAP.
Right.
We need to do it now. But these things don't happen now.
They don't.
They cost a lot of money. And they take a lot of time, contracts and stuff. It was an absolute ball ache. So I was pulling my hair out. But eventually it happened and it was all good.
It's crazy because I think lockdown was such a tough time for a lot of people, and a lot of fitness influencers were like saviors for a lot of people because, you know, mental health is on the rise, and especially in lockdown. I think
it was massive,
workouts and having that engagement with somebody really helped you to get through. I know, like I said, you know, me and my cousin would do your football workout, and it was only 20 minutes. But you would feel like happy after doing it, and it was short, and it was
you had a routine. It was a purpose. You felt good. You felt like you achieved something. Achievement feeling is so important, and if people don't have that, then they are going to have bad mental health problems.
Mental health is a massive epidemic at the moment. Especially men's mental health. It's really talked about a lot.
Well, it's more awareness is happening, of course. And there's so many people out there, like Roman Kemp, for example, an old client of mine. He's doing brilliant with the whole mental health side of things. And more awareness needs to be done. We all struggle. I struggle every now and again. Obviously, being a freelancer, there's anxiety there. And obviously, I'm working so much at the minute, I do become quite exhausted and quite tired. To try and keep on top of things, it can be a lot. So we all struggle, but it's about having good people around you, having a good routine, and having a good, healthy lifestyle, which is so important. I think there's a lot of men, my brother, for example, he got into the rut of working in the city and being a yes man, having to do this. It's not good for your mental health, but you have to do it to be accepted. There's a lot of men that can't say no, and that's a big problem. That's
really interesting. I've never heard that perspective before.
Yeah, there's a lot of my pals drinking 10 pints a beer on a Saturday and Sunday because, you're not having pints, what's wrong with you? Next minute, those 10 pints of 2,000 calories, they gain that weight, they don't feel confident in themselves, and it's just a bad cycle.
It's interesting. I think women are normally said that they don't say no. I've never heard it from a male perspective.
I think men are just as bad. When it comes to that side of things, having to be at a pub, having to do this.
And why do you think that is?
It's just been feeling accepted, being part of the group, being part of the banter. I don't want to be the one to be left out. I've never had that problem. I've always done what I wanted to do. And if I get the boys take the piss out of me, or it's fine, I don't give a fuck. But a lot of men do. A lot of men feel like they have to do it. And another thing, because obviously I'm doing online coaching now, I'm dealing with a lot of clients, mostly female to be fair, but also male, saying, I'm started this journey. I'm kind of worried that my mates aren't going to help me with the journey, or they're not going to encourage me. They're going to make me want to come to the pub. But girls are worse, because you've got that whole body positive movement, which I'm talking to my clients saying, look, if your friends aren't supporting you from wanting to change your lifestyle, your health, then they're not friends. Do you know what I mean? You're doing this for yourself. So I'm dealing with all sorts at the minute.
Well, and how do you encourage people to do that? Because I think socializing, going out, especially now we're out of lockdown, going out to eat, going out for drinks. You want to be social with your friends. It's part of the lifestyle.
Social is so healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not giving these people these meal plans or these workout programs, expecting them to stay at home and be so strict. I'm still advising them to go out, have a glass of wine here, but just about having a bit of common sense, being disciplined, not overdoing it.
Discipline is I think some people see it as a negative word, and I think without discipline, you can't achieve anything.
No, of course not. And education.
Right.
But sometimes not even discipline, it's just being educated. Wow, shit. My portion size is actually too big. Healthy but too big. It's just education, and then staying disciplined to make sure the portion sizes stay that way.
It's also understanding, and I find this a lot with certain people. It's like you want to see a change, but you don't want to change.
Yeah.
So you cannot eat the same food you're eating, work out the same way you've been working out, and expect to be a size 0.
No, of course not.
You know, it's not on whatever size you want to be.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
No.
You need to make a significant change, and that's the hardest part. So how do you advise people to actually make that change? Because the initial stage is the hardest bit.
Is massively, but this is what I say to parents. Get your kids doing as much sports as you can when they're younger, because it becomes part of their lifestyle as they grow older. Do you know what I mean? I was lucky that I did sports since the age of 7. It's not a chore for me. I absolutely love it. So parents, get your kids doing as much sport as they can as they're younger. It's not going to be a chore as they get older. My sister's a prime example. Did loads of sports, played county netball, played for Brentford girls.
Wow.
Went to university, she stopped. And this happens with a lot of females, I think. A lot of girls and women, I should say. Got to be careful what I say. Jesus Christ. Where boys, I guess, I think, carry on. Boys are quite social to play five-a-side. They go and play tennis.
Definitely, you're right.
They go and play football on Saturdays, where girls kind of stop. So that's another thing. But if you want to change your lifestyle, you have to invest in guidance and support. It's like, how easy is it to go and spend 200 quid on a night out these days?
Oh my God, 100%.
Ubers, drinks, one round, you got 5 of your friends. Who wants a drink? 5 hands put up. Oh, here we go. That's especially why I go out and Fulham and Chelsea. That's 100 quid, no problem.
Crazy.
So if you're willing to spend 200 quid on a night out, why are you not spending that 200 quid on a month for someone like me to really guide you and support you?
I agree.
It's just changing your mindset with money.
100%. I did this video ages ago, and it was like, we very easily question things to invest in ourselves. So whenever I want to invest in a coach, or I want to invest in a PT, or I want to invest in, let's say, I don't know, a book or something like that, or a course. But if you ask me to buy a nice jacket, or you ask me to buy something for someone I love, easily I'll do it. But investing in yourself is something that so many of us question, and I think it's all around self-worth as well, because we think we can do it ourselves, but often you can't. And once you invest in something, I feel like you see such a big difference. And also, when you spend money on something, you're going to make sure you change. Because if you're paying £200 an hour for a PT session, you're not going to eat a packet of crisps the second you get home as a snack. You're going to be like, no, I promised my PT. He's done this meal plan for me. I'm not going to binge.
And you're going to educate. So I say with my clients, I only want to work with you for 3 to 6 months.
100%.
If I'm working with you more than 6 months, I'm a bad coach.
Okay,
because after those 6 months, you should be educated. You should have knowledge.
It's about the tools.
And you should be, it's a part of your lifestyle now. It was once a chore in the first few weeks, and now it's a lifestyle where you absolutely love it, because the benefits for your mental health, benefits for your confidence, which is so key. And looking good. If you look good, you feel good.
I say that too. When I do coaching, I always say to people, the maximum I'll work with you is for 6 months. Because after that, you should know all the tools and practices.
You should
I'm telling you everything.
Yeah.
After that, if you're not wanting to change, then I'm also not going to handhold you and make you change. Because then it's not coming from you. It's just coming from me being like there holding your hand.
Yeah, of course.
So it's completely different. Obviously, having the multiple businesses that you have now.
Yeah, God, there's quite a few now, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah.
How do you manage in a relationship?
Ooh, so it's depends on depends on the person. I've actually found it quite difficult lately, to be honest. I had a gorgeous girlfriend during COVID. I was booming.
Right.
I guess she wasn't. It was quite tough.
Okay.
And that was a big test. And I think both quite young, so it didn't work out. And I recently was dating someone who was doing very well for themselves, but we just weren't compatible. And that's just the way it is. And it's fine. You can move on. It's cool. It's cool. But right now, I've got so much going on. I don't really have time to even think about having a missus. Wow. And to be honest, the type of person I am, I throw so much energy into my partner when I'm with them that I actually neglect myself, which is mad. Which is a good sign. I'm a good boyfriend.
I'm like that.
Yeah. But I want to help them so much. I want to support them so much. I almost forget about myself. And my sister always says it, Brad, focus on yourself. And it's so true. You should be your own priority. They should be their own priority. Sure. You together should be your switch off.
100%.
But yeah, I'm a very generous, helpful person. And a lot of people say I've helped loads of people in the industry, like start their careers and stuff. And there's so many people who've done so well. And I absolutely love doing it. I buzz of helping other people. Do you know what I mean? I buzz of seeing other people do well, which is a good thing, but sometimes I need to save that energy for myself, which I am now doing. I've learned my lesson. If the right person comes, then great. If they wipe me off my feet, I'm buzzing. Like honestly, if I find someone now and they're the one, I am over the moon. I'm 28 now. I'd love to be a young dad, but again, I'm not searching for it. I'm not chasing it. I'm not looking at it. It will happen. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to Bali, for example. I might find an incredible Aussie blonde. Do you know what I mean? You just don't know what's around the corner.
I'm manifesting it.
Yeah.
Bali's my favourite place as well.
Yeah, you just don't know. And I don't think when I'm dating a few girls or taking a few girls out and taking it slow and seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
But if it's not, if they're not the one, I'm going to be like, see you later. Life's too short.
I think it's really important to find someone that's compatible with you and aligned with you and your goals, because if you're with someone that isn't so driven and passionate, they're going to be relying on you so much to spend time with them if they're not working.
100%. I can't date someone that's not ambitious. That's my biggest red flag. If you're not ambitious, and I guess, do you know what? Living in the Fulham Chelsea area, there's a lot of girls who don't need to work. Yeah, and I've dated a few or speaking to a few, and straight away I'm like, despite how gorgeous you are, this ain't gonna work. Yeah. I need fire. I need to know that you're waking up and you've got a purpose, or you're buzzing. You've got goals, and you're smashing those goals.
Yeah,
that's what I need. I need someone who's just on my level.
and going to make you better.
Yeah, of course. I'll motivate me.
Absolutely.
I think like I've had a couple of I've had 4 serious relationships. One of the girls was very competitive with me. I was like, "We've been competitive." Yeah, I was like,
Really?
"We've been competitive for me for like we're together.
We're
Like,
equal.
we push each other, right?"
Right.
So I can't have that either. That's too much. That's too much bad energy.
And what about your friends? So I think, you've got a big online presence now.
Yeah.
You've been friends with all these celebrities and you've got a lot of people that probably want to be friends with you. And I think your friends and the people that you surround yourself with are the most important thing.
100%.
Because you can really feed off
Yeah.
good energy and bad energy.
Yeah.
And for me, I just know now, when I'm around someone, either I feel good vibes or I don't. And sometimes I can't even pinpoint it. I'm just like, there was something that was missing, and that's fine. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
But for you, I think, isn't it hard to now make new friends?
Yeah, it definitely is, for sure. But I'm very lucky. I've got 2 older brothers who are best mates, and I've got a few lads who I was best mates with before I guess I became successful, etc. There's a lot of acquaintances I have, and there's a lot of people in my industry, influencers, other personal trainers. I'm more than happy to have a laugh with. I don't class them as best pals. They're acquaintances. I see them at events and stuff.
Right.
Buzzing to see them, how they're getting on. But yeah, my circle's small, really small, and that's the best way to be. And of course, you got. There's a lot of males who want to be successful, so I got to be careful of jealousy and stuff, and like people who are envious, which is fine. That happens. I've had to deal with that all my life, and I really struggle with that because I'm not an envious or jealous person, so I don't understand that. I don't get it. How can someone be jealous of someone? Surely my success should be your motivation.
Right.
But that's the way I see it. Of course, other people are different, right? Obviously, different star signs and all that. I'm not going to go into that. Different star signs and all that.
I was just going to say that too. That's so funny.
So yeah, and I've had to deal with a lot of that. And recently I've had to deal with that with some of my closest of pals, who I thought were my closest of pals.
Okay.
And then you start to hear like these little remarks, these comments. I'm like, no, that's not cool with me. Do you know what I mean?
How do you confront that?
Oh, I'm straight up. I'm honest as anything. I'm like, I'd pull them aside and say how it is. And if that means we don't become friends anymore, then it's sweet. So later.
Jealousy is a weird one because I think if you're jealous about someone, you should use it as a form of inspiration.
Yeah, 100%.
And when people are saying, I don't know what to do, I always say, well, look where you're jealous. Look where you're envious of someone.
Well, that comes around. People don't want to change. They want to make that change, do they? They want it to happen, but they're not willing to put that work in to make that change.
Exactly. And I think jealousy could be used as a good thing. If you're jealous about something, you should say, okay, well, what can I do to ensure that I get that?
Yeah.
And that person getting that, whether I'm jealous or not, whether I wish them badly or is never going to change that person's success.
No, of course
They're going to be successful whether you support them or not.
100%.
So support them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think with friends, you can really pick up when you say remarks like that. When someone's like says to me like, "Oh yeah, I saw your video."
Yeah. Where's the like and comment? Yeah. All that stuff.
And I'm always like, "You did?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like,
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm past the whole because I understand my Instagram is my business now. So if my pals aren't liking it, it's cool.
You know what? Sweet. This is what I mean. There's a lot of my close friends that don't like and comment and share every one of my videos. That's not how I know that they support me.
Yeah.
I just know when I see them, even if they don't say, Shivani, I saw your last few videos, that they support me.
They're cool.
But there are some people who I know purposely look at it, and when I see them and someone else is talking about it, and they say nothing, and they're silent, I'm like, I just know.
Yeah, you just know.
Don't worry about it. I don't need your support.
Yeah.
But then also don't come to me and be fake, because I am not a fake person.
Yeah, you can censor straight away. I'm not a fake person.
I'm just not. No. If I don't like something, I'll be like, I don't like it. 100%. I won't say to someone, oh my God, I love your stuff. Yeah. And then never like and comment on it. I just won't say anything. I'm not interested. And I think it's in this social media world we're living in, my following has really increased lately. And you're seeing so many people now coming out and being like, oh, I've been supporting you from the beginning. And I'm like, have you?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't remember you ever saying anything about my podcast. But now suddenly you're like, exactly. I love it. And it's mad. You know what? I also think not everyone's going to support you in the beginning. And that's okay. But you really do know interactions that are genuine and genuine. Of course. You can just sense the energy.
100%. Like when I first started, I was probably one of the first doing videos of exercises and stuff. And I called myself #SimoPT, which I don't use anymore. But that was my first hashtag. And
what does that mean?
Well, my name's Simmonds, so it was short for SimoPT.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah. And I got banned for fun for it, but I can take banter. It's fine. I knew where I was going, so it was fine.
And banter's very different. People mock me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah,
That's totally different. I think you just really do know.
Yeah, of course.
in one of my videos recently, I spoke a lot around expectations for men and women.
Okay.
And a lot of the time on this podcast, very biasly, I talk a lot around the expectations for women. But I don't really talk around the expectations there are for men. And from your perspective, I really want to understand what some of those things that you feel you had to achieve and have strived to achieve, but maybe haven't been able to, and that's impacted you.
Yeah, so I guess at the age of 20, I'm going to John Terry's house. I'm going to Jamie Rennett's house. Okay, I'm name dropping for fun here. But I'm going to some incredible houses. I'm going to some billionaires. I'm getting flown to Monaco. So I'm seeing like, wow, I would love to be able to do this. I want my house with the pool, etc. And that I'm like, yes, it's going to happen. But then as you get older, you realise you've got to put 25% deposit down. And despite how well you're doing, it's getting tougher and tougher. Of course, I'm still aiming to do that. But I've realised now, no, it's fine. It's cool. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You're still working hard. But for me, as I've grown older, the materialistic stuff has definitely died down. Do you know what I mean? So the 812 Superfast Ferrari that I wanted, don't necessarily need that. I'll get that when that's the last resort now. That's the last on the list. Okay. Things like that. So I've definitely changed. And as you're older, you do change. You become more mature. For me, it's all about experiences. Of course, I'm investing my money well. Bricks and mortar. I've done the whole crypto thing. Didn't work out. Ain't touching that again. NFTs. Not doing that again. So for me, bricks and mortar. I want to build a portfolio which I enjoy. Got my first cottage in the Cotswolds.
I know. I saw that.
Which is doing really well on Airbnb, and so that's a new passion for mine. Interior design. Little these. So I want to build a portfolio of 10 cottages, for example.
Right.
And that'd be a nice little retirement plan. Do you know what I mean? So I've gone from being materialistic, wanting to show people that I'm successful, to now like, look, I don't need to look successful. It doesn't bother me. It's crazy. Like as you get older, you don't really compare yourself. I do surround myself with obviously successful people, which is really important, and they only drive me. They inspire me, they motivate me, but they don't necessarily. I don't compare myself with them.
Comparison is something that a lot of us struggle with, especially in this digital age, because it's very easy to say, oh, this person stayed here on holiday.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or, this person's going to train this person and I haven't been able to train that person. And often I feel that when you compare yourself, you're just digging yourself deeper into this hole.
Well, if you compare yourself, that can lead to envious or being jealous, right? Whereas if you see someone's success and you believe in yourself and go, I can get there too. Right. How am I going to get there? Put a plan in place and go for it. Then you're being inspired and you're going for it. That's the way I see it.
You're just so positive.
You have to be.
Does anything ever make you feel bad?
What makes me feel bad?
Or what was one of your hardest moments where you weren't able to be this positive?
The breakup was tough. I never expected it because I've had a few breakups. I was chilled, I was happy, and I was like, I'm going to be a lad again, buzzing. I had a really bad breakup, and that hit me for 6. Even when I was doing Get It Done, for example, it was just a big blur at one point. And as you see, I'm very optimistic. Right. My managers had a Zoom call and they said to me, Bradley, what's going on? Where's your energy gone? Like, what's going on? Not knowing that I was obviously struggling through that breakup. And I just burst into tears out of frustration because I knew I was slacking. I knew Get It Done. We had people saying, what's wrong with Bradley's energy? That was really frustrating because I wasn't myself. Right. And that can happen. I think men struggle with breakups more than females do.
Really?
I think though. But I think it's because my ego, I guess, was hit so hard. Do you know what I mean? Seeing someone move on, etc. It's quite tough. Even though you're not meant to be with that person. Yeah. And you know you're not meant to be that person. And you think yourself you're going to move on. That ego, it does hit you. I think men struggle later in the line than women girls.
I think you're quite sensitive. I'm not going to ask you your star sign, but I won't ask you.
I think definitely relationships have, my sisters say what has always been my downfall.
Being sensitive is a quality I think is so great. And all my life I've been criticised for being sensitive because I think you're right. With breakups, I think when you're in the relationship, the girl is the one that's, well, in my situation, it's been me who's like, I'm not happy. And the guy's like, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm done. Yeah. And when I reach that point where I'm done, I don't care. Yeah. Like I'm just like done. Yeah. And no matter how upset or emotional they are, I can't go back. Yeah. So, and I think with men, once it's done, then they're like, shit. Yeah. Exactly. They're like, what?
Your ego, you're like, what's going on? And that's what happened to me.
Being sensitive has been something I've always been criticised on because people have said, oh, you're just a bit too sensitive and you look into things a lot. But I think it's why I have a lot of emotional intelligence and I'm an empath. Yeah. So I really understand where people come from. But I also think as a girl, it's kind of expected for me to be like that. As a guy, being called sensitive.
Yeah,
Almost be called.
You've been calling me sevens. I was like, what?
Right. I saw your reaction.
Yeah,
you
my
were
shoulders
like,
were like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it so offensive?
I don't know, because I would class myself as an alpha male. A lot of people say I'm quite alpha.
I would say you are too.
But I guess every alpha has a sensitive side, right?
Right.
And we should be in touch with that sensitive side. We should own it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not really something that I think about or try and. I guess it's just sometimes I can be sensitive.
And I think that's what, like, naturally I saw you were like, I am sensitive.
What are you talking about?
What do you
What are you
mean?
talking about? Tensing my muscles.
It is. You said I think I'm an alpha, and I also can be sensitive. And I think this is a really key point. You can be both and. You don't have to be either or. And I was having a conversation with my auntie today, and she was saying, boys are just like this. Have you read Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus? And I was like, that book is a pile of crap.
Yeah.
Because you're putting people, don't read it. It basically puts people into boxes and it says, men love logic and women love to talk about everything for ages. Men love to not talk about their feelings and women love to talk about their feelings. Men aren't emotional, women are. And I think when you read books like this and then society reinforces this and then the TV that we watch reinforces it, and then when you go to school, everyone's like, you're a guy, don't show your feelings, don't be sensitive. It reinforces this behavior. Oh my God, Roots is just so cute.
He's just chilling. Roots,
I don't know if everyone can see the camera, but Roots is here.
Roots, come here. Up here, come on, up. Up here, come on, up.
Roots has entered the podcast.
Up. Good, up, sit. He comes everywhere with me, by the way.
He is just so cute.
There he is.
Thanks for joining Roots.
But do you know what's quite funny? So during that breakup, it's like I speak to my brothers. I'm like, oh, bruv, I'm really struggling. And he'd be like, you're single. You've got so many rollies you can get with. What are you laughing? You're going to have the time of your life.
Right.
And you're like, it's not really what I want to hear now. I want you to be telling me, bruv, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Let's work on your... Do you know what I mean? So you have to go to your mum and your sister, and they kind of understand. So they understand the senses, but I guess guys struggle. And
do you have that open conversation with your friends? Let's say if they come to you and they...
Oh, I'm very open. I don't care. I'm sweet. I'm very open. When it comes... I'm being open now. I don't mind, because I know people are going to relate to this. And people who are struggling or holding back, you need to talk, regardless of... what situation is, you need to talk. If you're not feeling great, talk to someone about it, because talking is so important. Like, I'm a personal trainer, not just a person, I'm a counsellor. Right. I've had so many clients who are going through really tough times, whether it's divorces or struggling at work or just feeling really low or depressed. My job is to talk to them, not just train them, which obviously helps them with their confidence as well, but talk to them and give them my advice. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really important. So that's made me realise I have to talk.
Right.
So, yeah.
And isn't that really hard? It's like people say being a hairdresser is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
Listening to people's problems all day. How do you switch off? And how do you also know when to advise your clients of the right thing? Because I guess there's a very fine line between... Well,
you could say, look, you could say, this is my opinion, this is my advice. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's the right advice, but have a listen and tell me what you think. Especially my female clients, I was like, this is from a male's perspective.
Yes. I love that.
And I'm like, you need to hear this from a male perspective, because you're probably listening to all your girlfriends right now.
And your friends will always support you.
Yeah.
Your friends will always say, and I always say, I feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world, because I have friends who will say, Shivani, you're wrong. Yeah. And they'll say, you're looking too much into it.
Yeah, of course.
Or look, you have to think about it from his perspective. And I love that. And I think so many people are lacking friends who will give you a different 100%. Perspective and tell you that you're wrong. It's so easy to agree with someone.
I think so. Like, every guy should speak to a female about, and the females will say to me, Brad, but what do you about this? Like, do you think... I'm like, do you know what? I haven't thought about that, because they understand, they maybe experience it themselves. So always go to the opposite sex for a bit of advice.
And see their perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
I've loved talking to you today.
It's all good.
And at the end of every podcast now, we do a nice truth or dare.
Oh, Rich, what should we do? Truth or dare? I say, let's do a dare.
I'm going to dare you.
Okay.
See how many press-ups you can do in a minute.
Press-ups in a minute? Oh. I'm going to do that excuse, but I did chest today, so it might not be as...
I predict 100. You
100,
predict?
100.
How many do you predict? I believe in you.
Okay, let's go press up every second. So let's go 60, and I reckon
60.
I'll be that. Yeah.
Let's go. Right, let me go. Right, ready?
How many to go?
Go. Just realised I'm counting in my head.
left. Come on, come on. Come on. 25 seconds. 15 seconds, let's go. 1. Come on, 10 seconds left. You can do it. You can do it. 6 seconds. Come on. 4, come on. 3, 2, 1.
60, I said 60, didn't I? Oh.
You did it.
Oh.
Oh my god. I actually stopped counting. Oh my god. Oh god.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Wherever you're listening or watching, if you could press the like, follow and subscribe button, it would mean the world to me.